Hello, it's Roger, Mudfossil University, and the other day I did a video and I spoke about, I had helped Michael Tellinger a while back, and he does these stone circles. I could advise him a little bit on mud fossils and, a couple of years ago. Now, however, I don't like to step into anybody's territory, but I do think that these stone circles originate from tendon enthesis balls. And they erode in different ways, but what would they end up with would be a shell around here, and the internal would be gone. So they should be able to find like some of that cavity underneath. It's like a ball, and it erodes in a certain way, and sometimes it eats the inside out, sometimes it eats the outside. Sometimes there are different types of fabrics in there. I'll show you some tendon balls and then you can just get an idea. But I think those stone circles originated as structurally sound circular, stone areas. And I'll show you why I say that. Okay, as we get started here, before we even get started, what is a tendon ball? What is a tendon enthesis? Well, this is a tendon enthesis. All right, that is the strap, because they anchor into the flesh, and then the strap runs out, and then muscles pull on that strap to make you mobile. Now, what do they look like in a creature? Right there. That's it right there. Now let me see if I can get you to see this. You see the ball right here? See that ball? That's the strap. Right there, that's the strap. Now, this one's sheared off here, but it would have gone right up over the top, and there is the rest of the fibrous strap. You see how that's all got all those little holes in it? Well, that's that. And it comes down to the ball, and that's the strap, and surrounding it is all this bloody matrix. You see it? Otherwise, the spikes that are in this thing would tear you to shreds. There is spikes in there you wouldn't believe, and they are made to anchor into the bloody fleshy matrix, and that bloody stuff there separates your tissue stuff from this spiky stuff, and that holds it in there solid. Now if that ball rips out of there, it looks like this. Hold on. Alright, that's one of those balls that runs up to the strap. You see this? They call this Chinese finger trap. The mat is anchored to these straps. So the strap is pulled by the mat. Well, the mat comes up through this trap with the ball anchored into the flesh below. That is an injury. That guy's in pain. Tyson's got one of those right now. Tyson, that's you, brother. Now, and these are normally on your abdomen and places like that where you got mats of these things. In your other areas, shoulders and your feet and so forth, they're different, but they all have the same basic structures, an anchor attached to a strap. Now, in Peru, they find these, they're just gigantic. This stuff is huge, it's gigantic. Get over it. It happened. I can't explain every little bit of that, but I'm working on it. They take these mats, they cut these little straps off here, and you see the bumps sticking off them. This is all over Peru. And that flat, this is tendon. That's calcium carbonates, CaCO3 primarily, and there's some other mineral inclusions in there. But it's primarily limestone. You know, that type of thing. Basalt, they call basalt limestone. It depends on how it, and I'll show you right now. It depends on how it's solidified and what conditions it was in. This is a tendon enthesis. And you remember how they had the balls come down in the straps? That was a strap attached to a ball, and that was a strap attached to a ball. That's the finger trap right there, Chinese finger trap. Now, so what happens? You see what's in there? That's a shiny and glazy, and all those little white fibers are the fibers that really do the attachment. That other stuff is the matrix that holds the fibers. Those tiny little things are the fibers. All right, now, what would happen if it was in a different chemistry, exactly like this, but in a different chemistry? It would be like this. This time, the fibers got eaten out. You see? You see the holes? The fibers got eaten out. See? Now this was in some kind of caustic chemistry. And here's the deal. you got a lot of things are in salts. Well, what do you got in salt? NaCl. You got both sides of the periodic chart. You got acids and salts working together. The positives and negatives doing all kinds of things, and end up with broken down or stabilized particles. So that's all it is. So either they stabilize or they leach out. And in this one, they leached out, and in this one, they stabilized. You see, you just got to understand the chemistry. Nobody really at this point does. I'm telling you, they just don't understand it. And these things, like this is a goose head. You say, oh, that couldn't be a goose head. Well, it has absolutely 100%, no question whatsoever. If you have any idea what pattern feathers look like on the top of a goose's head, that is them. All right? And that is a little goose's eye. That's a little goose's beak. And it died laying like this, flat. And that's his neck and everything. If you put a little moisture on here and there and look at things, that's when you can see things best. But that's his neck, and that's the bone, which coming right out of there. You got to look at things. And the bone heads, I got bones coming out of my ears. I got bones coming out of my bones. I'm boned out, man. And all that's left in his bone is that. That little tiny, 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 you probably can't see it. It's white right there. I don't know if you see it at all. But saltwater invasion has this effect. I mean, I got fabulous things around here. This is the Cave of Wonders. See, that's a tendon enthesis right there. That's the strap. They normally don't preserve like that. The straps usually go away, but you find some. I'll show you some other ones. Now remember, the straps very, very rarely stay, but that's a strap. And there was another strap there. See the little center to it? They have a core to them. They have to have some nutritional infusion or whatever. And that one broke, and I believe that one came down to here probably. But that's how they come. They come all over. They're all over the place. You see them? That was another one here, and that's just what happens. Now, that guy better be careful. All right, people don't understand abrupt transitions, and this is what it is. There is just an absolute, and you get a bunch of them. You get one here, one here, one here, but one of them is so flat, and that's the one like that creates the plateaus. You see, this is the structure that's internal, and these anchor into bones and so forth, but they come out in these little straps, and the straps break just like flat as a pancake, and I will show you that. Now I have one here that's just the same thing. That's an abrupt transition. This is the tendon coming up to the gluey mat that attaches it to the muscle. It's that abrupt. There's another one Scott Weil's got me. See that? That's the gluey stuff that glues to the abrupt transition. And they break just flat as a pancake. And now going that way would have been muscle. All right, you really got to get in deep into the chemistry and the biology and all of this stuff, the molecules. Like Tyson has an area up there, it's loaded with these little holes. And I have them here too. I got the exact same stuff, only mine are kind of small. Now, and these are the tendon fibrils. And the tendons and the enthesis and epitendon and all these things that people don't understand. You see this? That's an abrupt transition between the tendon going into the muscle. Let's look at Devil's Tower. All right, there's Devil's Tower. There's the abrupt transition. There's the wrinkle zone where the tendon gets de-stressed. It's under stress down here. These are the ankle. This is the ankle. This flares around the bone. All right, there's your wrinkle zone. There is where the bloody areas are. You see them? Same thing I showed you at Mount Romoria down in Venezuela, that big gigantic one where the water was coming out. Now this, apparently there's not enough water in this area to flow out there. I don't know if it ever does or not. But the bloody areas, they are always going to show up here and there. But you can see it running down. Running down. There was a vein in this area. There's veins wherever you're going to see a lot of red. There'll be some little slips of red and yellow on there because there's what they call synovial sheaths. And they coat these fibers because they have to slide amongst themselves just as slick as smooth as silk. And if you don't have them sliding smooth in here, you can get arthritis. Arthritis is nothing more than a bunch of crystals collecting in areas in these sliding areas, and then it tears into these synovial sheaths. You get all kinds of pain and inflammation, and it's really a problem. Doesn't get any more obvious than this. This is the tendon, and that is the wrinkle zone. Same thing above as below. That's the tendon, and remember these little things going over, the little bumps around the edges, they call it the calcaneus. It's nothing more than an Achilles tendon. And let me show you how they worked those in the past. By the way, that is a tendon enthesis. Right at the top, that's the abrupt transition. Those are those little blocks I showed before with the tendon. These are the slants that come down from the side towards the ankle. This was a foot. The pyramids were built exactly from things like this. They built them down. The internal of the pyramid is nothing like the exterior. The exterior is made of concrete, not stone that they chipped away. That exterior is made of processed stone. I've done the research on this. I'm not guessing. And these water running out of here in these specific spots are running out because of arterial passages going deep into the ground. Arteries blow out. Arteries are the source of virtually all artesian wells, artery-tesian wells. Water pressure in the ground. When the water pressure is low, she don't run so much. When the water pressure is bright, you got a lot of water. You got waterfalls. All right, remember these little angles, because you're going to see them surrounding the ankle at Devil's Tower. Now, this is the stuff that I think Michael Tellinger has over here, all these tendon balls, and they're just everywhere. There's millions of them. But what they would find is the tops would erode off, and they would have these circular structures that they would probably just build up from. That's what I would take it from. And there is ligaments. Ligaments connect bones to bones, and then there is tendons, and tendons connect muscles and so forth to an anchor somewhere. All right, that's the Achilles tendon right there, and that's how it looks, and it's very fibrous. You saw how I showed all of those little hex fibers. You know, you don't see them in these, they're too small, but if this was at Giant's Causeway, it's same stuff at Giant's Causeway. It was a giant. And same stuff at Devil's Post Pile, same stuff at Devil's Tower. It's the same tendinous material. Now, if you look careful, and most people would never see this, but right there, that is the abrupt transition. It's not broken, but if it did break, that's where they break, right on the abrupt transition. It's just as flat as a pancake. All right, there's a tendon, radiating type of tendon, where it, you know, I said there are different styles, there's shoulders, there's this and that. Well, they have the same structure. They all have these tendinous fibrils, but there's an abrupt transition, down there's another abrupt transition. These are the fibrils. And they all anchor at a central location up in here. I don't know what that is. I don't know where I got that from, but all this stuff, Tyson has it out there, Scott Wiles has it, Greg Morrison's been collecting stuff, people sending me all this stuff, and they're sending me absolutely fabulous things, and things to look at, and you know, we look at them, we discuss them together, and we're pretty damn excited.